I just had a question on an analogy that you give sometimes in response to people who ask about why would God send someone to hell.
Right.
So people who watch you may be familiar with it, but the analogy essentially of a man pursuing a woman, and ultimately if she doesn't want to be pursued, if he loves her, he'll let her go.
Yeah.
God does the same thing. If we don't want a relationship with him, he'll let us go. How would you respond to somebody who says the analogy is essentially flawed? It's more of a parent-child relationship because God knows what's best for us. Why is he punishing us when he knows what we don't know? If that makes sense, that he knows that being with him is better. And so a parent to a child, I'm going to do what's better for them, even though they may not want it. So how would you respond to somebody that wants to break down the analogy that way?
So I reject the premise that it would be better, whatever better means. I'm going to ask the person who brings up that objection, what do you mean by better? In what sense?
As a believer, if I believe that being in God's presence is the ultimate purpose for human, that's what we're created for, that if I was an atheist talking to you as a believer to say, if you believe that is the best thing for a human to be in the presence of God, then wouldn't that be?
Only if the person is receptive to it.
Sure.
I don't know if this is a good analogy or not. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but say there's somebody that loves the band Skillet. All right. John Cooper's a friend of mine, and he's a hard rocking Skillet guy, right?
Yeah.
That's his band. And you might love Skillet, and you want to be in that room with John when he's playing all his Skillet tunes. But your neighbor may detest that music. He would rather be out in the cold, in the rain, and be uncomfortable than to be sitting in a Skillet concert because he detests the music. You might think it's the greatest thing ever, and he says, no, I'd rather be in a place where I'm uncomfortable than to be hearing that music. I don't know if this is a good analogy or not. I'm just trying to think it through, right?
Yeah.
So there are people that would rather be damned and uncomfortable than be saved in the presence of God. I think it was Sartre or someone who said that the gates of hell are locked on the inside, or the doors of hell are locked on the inside. They don't want to be in the presence of God. That turns them off. That they're repulsed by God.